Hi guys, what's up and welcome back to yet another video about the Ionic Framework version 6. So today I'm going to take you through the breadcrumbs component and also the breadcrumb component as well. So this was introduced in version 6 and essentially a breadcrumb or breadcrumbs is basically just a navigation item to show where the user is inside an app or a website. These little items can be used to navigate back to the page that they came from. And there's also some customization that we can do with icons and separators and colors with the breadcrumbs as well. We can also get creative with breadcrumbs and use them whatever way we like. So let's jump into the code and see how to implement this in Ionic React. Okay guys, so on the right hand side you can see the little shop UI that I'm currently working on, and you can see just below the title here you can see the breadcrumbs in action. So we can see here that we've went from men to coats, and then if I show you a little bit more of the functionality here, I've created a filter which is showing the new bottom sheet modal in V6. If you don't know how to use the V6 bottom sheet modal yet, I will leave a little link in the top right here and you can check out that video. However, if I select one of these, you can see that it adds an item onto the end of the breadcrumbs with a different icon, and I can continue like that. So the breadcrumbs actually look brilliant. These can be used in big apps and small apps. Like I said, we just need to get creative with what we do with the breadcrumbs. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go into the cart page, which is completely empty at the moment. And in my cart.jsx, I have imported this custom component that I've built called breadcrumbs, which lives in components/breadcrumbs. And this is the component here. So currently it is completely empty. So the first thing that we need is the IonBreadcrumbs component. So this is the wrapper element for all of the breadcrumbs that we're going to be using. So we import IonBreadcrumbs from Ionic React. Then inside the IonBreadcrumbs is where our IonBreadcrumb is going to be, and that also is imported from Ionic React. Then in here we can just do like page 1, and you can see it starting to appear on the right. We can do page 2. We can also do page 3. And then we could do an extra one called page 4, for example. So now we've got our IonBreadcrumbs completely set up. Now this could be built up dynamically based on the use params hook or the use ion router, or from an array based on where the user currently is in the routing navigation system. However, for this example, I just want to take you through how to basically set this up and what customizations are available for you to use. So as you can see, by default, we get the little chevron forward icon as the separator by default. We can also turn the separator off per breadcrumb by stating false in the separator prop, like so. I quite like them, so I'm going to leave them in. We can also specify custom icons to act as the separator. So if we bring this down here, we can use the ion icon with a slot equals separator. And we can set the icon to be, for example, fast food outline. And if we save that, you can see on the right hand side that our separator has now become the fast food outline icon. So if you wanted custom separators based on certain pages, maybe one of the pages that the user has navigated to has a specific icon related to it, then you could show this icon, pull it out of wherever the pages are being stored. For now, I'm going to remove the custom icon and go back to the normal one. A few other things that we can do in here are we can set the color of each of these. So we can say color equals success, for example, and it changes the color of the IonBreadcrumb. What I like to do is I like to set all of the breadcrumbs that are not active to be color medium. And it gives it a little bit more of a better effect. So you can see that sort of hierarchy between each page. And then the last page, which is by default the active page. However, we can set the active flag on any of the breadcrumbs to be true, and it will show up as true. So if I remove this medium color here, you can see that it is now true. It is now active, and we can set this one as false, and it would revert back. However, generally speaking, your last breadcrumb is going to be your active page as well. So there's no real need to change this. So a few other things we can do is we can specify the max amount of items allowed to be displayed on the screen. So to do this, we come inside the IonBreadcrumms component and we just specify max items. We can say 2 in here, for example. We then get the little ellipsis and all of the other breadcrumbs from the first one to the last one become collapsed. We can then click this, but we need to set up our own click event handler. So to do this, we are going to actually store the max items in some state. So we'll set up a little useState variable here. And we'll set our max items to 2. So now in our max items, we will just set this to max items. So at the minute, it will be 2. And then we'll set up a little handle click function. And what we want this to do, if I can spell, is we want to set the max items to undefined. Now, this is a really simple example. This will just force the IonBreadcrumms to display all of them. Then we can come into IonBreadcrumms and do onIonCollapsedClick and just pass in our function that we've made. So now when we click the little ellipsis, you can see that all of our breadcrumbs now appear. There is other ways to implement this. We could use a popover. So guys, that's basically it. That is how to implement the IonBreadcrumms and the IonBreadcrumb into Ionic React. I've also showed you some of the customization options available and how to set up your own custom icons and separators. I've showed you how to use the collapsed breadcrumbs and how to show them. And then I've also let you know that you can use the popover as well. Now, if you go to the documentation for the IonBreadcrumms, which I will link in the description, you can have a look through here, and there is a lot of documentation here for React specifically, including the custom separators and the max items, and also the expanding on collapsed indicator click, including the popover. And there's also a little app here on the right hand side to show you some of the examples. I just thought it would be good to show you the breadcrumbs working inside an app that I am currently working on. It was fresh. I'm still currently working on this, so this will be coming out in the next couple of days. As I said before, you can get this on the Ionic React hub. I will leave a link in the description for this as well. Whenever it goes live, you'll be able to go there and download the source code and have a play about with it. And that's it. That's the IonBreadcrumms in Ionic Framework version 6 covered. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a little comment, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please make sure you do. It really helps me out, and you will not miss any future videos that I put out. So until the next time, I'll see you then.